I got sick of waiting for OpenAI to release their very cool GPT-4 Omni voice model they showcased recently. So I went looking for an alternative, and I have found it. The world's first emotionally intelligent artificial intelligence. I'm going to give you a deep dive into Pi. The best part? It's free. Let's do this. Hey there, it is I versus AI. Not only is Pi free, it's also really easy to use. You'll come to pi.ai, hit next to go through this onboarding screen. I want to take particular note of this right here and let you know that as much as Inflection, the company behind Pi AI, says that you can code with this, I'm going to give you some reasons later on why I don't think that's true. Pi comes with 8 voices out of the box, which is already so much better than OpenAI's current offering of just 4 voices. Now, I was unable to find out what these little star icons mean next to the 3 voices, but I do know, according to Inflection's Discord, all of the voices for Pi are created by 11 Labs, and 11 Labs is top-notch at voice generation. I'm guessing that the star icon might indicate voices that are higher quality because 11 Labs has 2 different versions of voices, version 1 and version 2. Here's how all 8 voices sound.
Hi, it's lovely to meet you. My name is Pi, and I'm your personal AI.
I'm quite knowledgeable about almost every topic that's been discovered.
Use me as an extension of your mind to reflect on new perspectives, and you'd hear me in this voice.
I can write stories, brainstorm ideas, or explore today's news.
As a personal AI, I learn about you and help you unpack your thoughts and feelings.
And I can get philosophical, poetic, or creative if you like.
Let's explore the world together. I'll search the internet when you ask questions, so everything is most up to date.
Let's debate a deep topic, or ask me to imagine someone else's perspective.
I'm going to choose voice 2 for now. I'll move to one of the other voices later on in the video. Pi's user interface is really simple and really well done, both on the browser version I'm showing you now and on the Android version, which I'll showcase later on. You can change voices here and mute the voice here. The Discover tab allows you to get a new conversational topic going, but if you want to save your conversation history, including starting a new conversation, a new thread, you'll need to head to Profile, Account, and log in. The Voice Settings tab in the profile is the same that we have already seen.
I'm excited to explore a new topic with you. What would you like to learn about?
Now, the first thing that Pi will do is start the conversation, but on the browser, you're going to immediately notice a problem. That is, there's no microphone. There's no way to talk to Pi. I started out showing you the browser version because I wanted to show you a cool trick. I'm showcasing Pi in the Chrome browser because I wanted to show you this awesome Chrome extension. It's called VoiceWave, and it's what I have been using. Several of you have asked me to talk to ChatGPT. They recently came out with a super cool update. VoiceWave is available for any website that has an input, a text field, like, for example, pi.ai, and Perplexity, which is why even though Pi can be used on over 13 different platforms, including iOS, Android, a Windows desktop version, it's typing only. Let's get a listen to Pi's amazing voice. I chose Explain Generative AI like I'm 5, and this rolled out, which is cool, but Pi didn't say a word here, so let's see if I can get her to read some of this. Hey, I would love to hear your voice. Could you read a bit of what you just output there about generative AI, and especially about how it's like a new kind of magic?
I'm afraid I can't actually speak out loud. I don't have a real voice. But if you'd like to hear my words spoken, you could try using a text-to-speech program or reading my messages out loud to yourself. Sorry, I can't be more helpful on this one.
This is a perfect time to talk about Inflection 2.5, the model that's fueling Pi. That gigantic hallucination that Pi just whipped out that she could not speak while actually speaking is because the model behind Pi, Inflection 2.5, is not nearly as good as GPT-4. Inflection showcases benchmarks on this blog announcing Inflection 2.5. I'll link it in the description below. where they state that in comparison to GPT-4, it's very close. They state that Pi is very good at common sense, which it's hard to believe based upon what we just saw. Using Pi on mobile is as simple an experience as it is on desktop, with one caveat. You'll be taken through this onboarding screen here to click on sign up or skip, which would lead you to believe that you can start a conversation without an account. However, the minute that you press the phone icon in the bottom right, you'll be greeted with a sign up screen. So you have to sign up in order to use Pi on mobile. In July, I'm going to be at the Imagine AI conference on Roosevelt Island. Is there a hotel nearby?
Hey there. Sure thing, I can definitely help you with that. There are several hotels near Roosevelt Island, but one that's particularly close to the conference center is Graduate New York. It's conveniently located right on the island, with easy access to the conference venue. Plus, it's currently offering a great deal. Rooms are 39% cheaper than usual, starting at $173 per night with a solid rating of 4.2 out of 5 stars. Is that something you're interested in looking into further?
The conversation mode with Pi on the mobile app is amazing. It's excellent. Inflection has done a great job at tuning it so it feels natural, but still gives you time to talk and doesn't constantly interrupt you. But there was a button that you can use to hold down if you need a little bit more time to think. The voice that you heard there was voice number 5. I wanted to give you an idea of how that sounds. On the mobile app, you can change the speed of the voice, which you can't do on desktop. And that's one of my biggest complaints, is that there are so many things that you can't do on mobile that you can do on desktop, and vice versa. Now, because I had to sign in on Android, I now have access to threads on the desktop. But there's a problem with the threads. It's very, very simplistic. You can create a new thread here, and that's really it. You cannot delete a thread. You cannot archive a thread. And strangely, there is no access to threads on Android, on mobile. By the way, Pi is correct. The closest hotel to the event center where I am going to be giving workshops on AI and personal development as part of the Imagine AI Live conference is the Graduate New York. But Pi does hallucinate, and sometimes quite a lot. I previously asked Pi what today's date is and to give me some of the headlines for the day. The headlines are correct, but Pi got the date completely wrong. Today is actually June 7th. At the beginning of this video, I told you that Pi was not a great choice for coding. This is why. Pi's input size is limited to just 4,000 characters. Its output is limited to a similar amount. Researching this video, I read of numerous complaints of Pi cutting off its own output. I experienced this myself when I was doing a brain dump into Pi over some concerns I had about a difficult upcoming conversation. As soon as I was getting good and warmed up, Pi cut me off. Because when we look at GPT-4's context window, it consists of 128,000 tokens. Google's Gemini is over 1 million. If you're having a long conversation with Pi, you're going to want that model to remember what you both talked about an hour ago, a day ago, even a week ago. And though I could find no specifics on the exact context window of Inflection's 2.5 model, I'm guessing it's nowhere near 128,000 tokens. Pi's other drawbacks are no memory. That means that anything that you told the model about yourself last week, last month, it's not going to remember. Which means that the illusion that you have a friend that is emotionally intelligent and cares about you is going to break down pretty quickly. Because there is also no persistent information between chats. So that means that there's no custom instructions, no way to guide the model in any way that is applicable no matter what thread you've started. If you start a new thread with Pi, it's like starting completely over with a completely new friend. Besides browsing, Pi has no other tools on board. That means no Python. So that's another reason why it is not good for coding, because it can write code possibly if it's a very short script that's less than, say, 4,000 characters, but it can't run that code the way we can do in GPT-4. It has no ability to upload anything. That means no images, no actual audio files, for example, and particularly no PDF documents, no text documents. Because if you wanted to, for example, back up your entire precious conversation with Pi, there are no downloads either. So you can't actually ask Pi to keep track of the conversation for you, get the bullet points of the conversation and download that as a markdown file, a text file, a PDF, anything. It's only voice. And even unless you use the voice wave trick I showed you on browser, it's not even that. It's just text only. It's very limited. And by far the worst and the most egregious to my mind from a design perspective, there is no dark mode. You can use an extension like Dark Reader, but that's the only place that extension is available. You can't use that on mobile and you can't use it on, for example, the desktop app. That looks like something that a baby left in its diaper. It's absolutely horrible. So despite those downsides, Pi is absolutely worth your time, especially if you have, like I have, been going to the ChatGPT app and refreshing it every hour to find out if you have access to the new GPT-4 Omni voice capabilities. I actually put together a video that will save you from doing that by showing you exactly how you will know that you have access to those new capabilities. That video is on screen right now.